Hey guys, I'm back for another video, and welcome to something different this time. At the moment, it's a stream. I had a special task ahead of me in SkyBlock. I want to build an island, a private island that's actually mine and not just a bunch of random blocks placed everywhere. I want to place something with substance, and I've chosen a Bed Wars map. It is called Glacier. It's a classic. But to make things interesting, I have set up a Q&A. I have about 80 questions, well, 80 screenshots, some of which contain multiple questions. So we got a lot to go through today. Do I need to take notes for the test? So I booted up Fabric with the famous Light Matica mod, and as you can see, this is what I intend on building. I've already lined up 0, 0, which is this cobblestone right here, and then determined the height that I want everything to be about here, because cloud level's up there. It leaves plenty of room below this on the island to build other things. And before we officially get started, if you're gonna buy anything in the Hypixel store, you know, cookies, gems, some items, skins, whatever, do me a favor and use code ThirtyVirus. It gets you 5% off and gives me a kickback. So thank you for that. Will ThirtyVirus rants ever return? Is Solo gonna get any more content? Hardcore, Lemon, Bed Wars. Okay, the other Skyblock profiles? Yes. I am absolutely, one of the first things I'm gonna do once the Iron Man is near max Skyblock XP, I'm gonna be making content on Solo again. There's a lot I could do with the ability to take contraband, especially now that people won't be able to criticize me for taking contraband because it's not even my main profile anymore. So I am massively looking forward to that. That's gonna be fun. Hardcore, probably the most dead of all the Skyblock profiles, just because Iron Man is just a better version in every single way. Lemon, I think Lemon might have also died because it was also meant to be a contraband profile, but Solo's just far more progressed. Fezzy doesn't really play Skyblock anymore. That one would have some problems, but I would not completely say it's dead. We might someday upload a Lemon video again. I really don't know. Rants? Oh yeah, I'm a very, I wouldn't say opinionated person, but I like to think. I like to think of systems especially. So whenever people bring up problems, I usually have some thoughts to give, and a lot of people in my life tend to go to me for advice on various things because they know I'm a very detail-oriented person. I do a lot of research. It's really put the entire channel in a chokehold, this profile. I was so dead set on proving the haters wrong that it took over my entire channel, which, to be fair, is kind of a theme, right? That's how Solo profile started. So is it that surprising that it happened a second time? Probably not. And Bed Wars, unfortunately, I think Bed Wars is dead. I love Bed Wars as a concept. I love the mode. The rules are great. It's such a fun gameplay loop, but the mode is just completely, I mean, dead on YouTube. Like, videos don't get views about Bed Wars anymore. And even if they did, the whole mode is infested with sweats and hackers. So it's like, that charm, that era of Bed Wars is so dead. There's a video on my channel where I set the record for the most solo wins in one day. And just watching the way that people played back then, holy crap, is it different. I miss those days of Bed Wars, dude. I'm never gonna make fun of the nons again. Games need nons, bro. It needs people that are just casuals and are bad at the game. It's sad seeing that go away. What's your favorite stage of Skyblock? Oh, easily early game. Early game Iron Man is like a drug. I cannot describe how addicting early Skyblock is. Even though there's no direction, it doesn't tell you anything about how to progress or what to do. But like, as someone who has played this game for years, my fondest memories are always like getting Melody's hair, doing the fire trial, killing my first zealot in one shot, getting a god potion for the first time. Skyblock has a charm to it unlike any other game I've played, and it'll last for like 1,000 hours. Like, if you really lock in and just play for 1,000 hours straight, you will have fun nearly the entire time. That was a lot of clicking. Bro, we have a freaking talisman. We actually did it. How is that even possible? I'm a cat of 8. What the hell? And then you hit a wall. After that, the game gets infinitely more boring. But until then, it's a great game. It's why bingo is so good. I like the concept of bingo, but it does stretch on a little longer than I would like. But I don't hate it. This is starting to look kind of neat. Look at this chat. Also, what skill do you enjoy the most in SkyBlock? Probably combat, mining, maybe. Mining kind of overstayed its welcome once it was like, oh, you need to get 10 billion coins for dark auction and Shen. Have fun. Like, great. I mean, forging actually went from being one of the worst skills to one of the best with the most recent update. So I've been enjoying that a lot too. What is the hardest task and most time-consuming task you've done in SkyBlock? It was kind of insane getting a space helmet. I'm not gonna lie. That's just one of those things that if you look at the timeline, it's like, how did that even happen? Like, how was I allowed to do that? That's ridiculous. Another one is kind of a jump scare in my inventory. Getting one of these on Iron Man is absolute freaking insanity. But that video is not done yet, so what was your favorite thing about the profile? I've been spending so much time playing SkyBlock, and it kind of turned into a job to the point where it's like, great, that's out of the way, now on to the next thing. So I don't really know if I have a favorite. Just the fact that it's all done is great. How'd you come up with your YouTube name? It was randomly generated. It's not a very glorious story. I wanted to make an Xbox Live account in like 2007, 2008. I was thinking, what names are fun and interesting, and I wanted to be called Game Freak. I don't know, because I liked games. And then it turned out that's the publishers for Pokemon, so I had to think of something else because it was taken already. It just came up with some randomly generated ones, and I think third or fourth on the list was ThirtyVirus, and the rest is history. And what's funny about that, I made that account to play Halo 3. In Halo 3 multiplayer, the matchmaking, I found ThirtyVirus, whose name was 100% generated the exact same way. So I don't know if they even call themselves that anymore. ThirtyVirus is out there somewhere. What's your favorite part of your room? The part that I stare at for 12 to 16 hours a day. This desk is unreal, dude. 3 monitors. I have a Stream Deck, a VR headset hanging from the left side of the desk, a little side table next to me that I put my snacks. It's just perfectly built for me to like almost rot. Like to just be end stage screen addiction. I enabled myself way too much. Like as a kid, all I ever wanted was just the ultimate. Nope. I built it for myself, and now I'm scared I'll never leave. Like, I could be given all the money in the world, but this setup would stay exactly the same, and I'd spend just as much time at it. Like, I pretty much maxed out what I could possibly want. It's bad. I should want more, but I really don't. This monitor on the left here, half of it's Discord. The other half is my stream summary. I could see my stats, whatever. And when I'm not streaming, it's my to-do list. Middle, whatever game I'm playing, usually SkyBlock. Right monitor. Right now it's OBS, but when it's not OBS, I have a YouTube video playing. And then on the way right, I have like, if I have a wiki I need to address, like most recently Sky Shards, I'll have that pulled up as well. And then my phone will be over here facing towards me. So I hopefully don't skip notifications, but it happens all the time. So there are like 2 different messaging platforms staring me in the face 24/7. A YouTube video always playing. A game that I'm always playing. It's bad. I definitely need to do a dopamine detox. It's getting real bad. Is SkyBlock your favorite game? No. Do you play it because it's your job? Yes. I mean, I could technically choose to make my job anything else, so there is something to be said about that. But I've said this so many times, I'm just going to start listing games at this point. My top 5 in no particular order is probably Fallout New Vegas, Subnautica, Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Explorers of Time, Darkness, Sky. All of that I consider one freaking game, to be honest. It's just too many. Call of Duty Zombies, Advanced Warfare Multiplayer. That one's a hot take. I loved Advanced Warfare Multiplayer. Minecraft's somewhere in there, maybe it's number 5 of the top 5, but it's easily the one that is the easiest to make content for. I have gone a long time without playing Minecraft for fun without it also benefiting me in some way. It says a lot that these other games that I'm talking about benefited me in no way other than the fact that they were just fun to play and entertaining. I gained nothing from actually playing them in any other way. What's your favorite item in the game? Hyperion. I mean, it goes without saying. Is the most overpowered video game item to ever exist, and it makes the game so much more fun. Something that heals you while exploding and doing massive damage could be spammed, and it teleports you forward for it at the same time. Like, there is no better item in any video game ever. If you were able to completely rework an update to SkyBlock, what would it be and what would be changed? Easy answer, the garden. I hate the garden. It's the worst update this game has ever gotten. I can say that in full confidence. It is literally just sit there and rot simulator. It stole the most hours from me. At this point, 1,500. Never getting that time of my life back. Hate's a strong word, but I hate the garden, and I mean that. It really was a negative influence on my life. I would have made it into an idle game. Make it Heyday. Have it have something to do with minions. Just don't make it sit there and grind for 1,000 hours simulator. You should not even have to sit there for more than 100 in total. That might be a hot take, but I don't care. I don't like the concept. I hate the concept, actually. It should have been take your plots, put a farm on it, and then take a minion. It uses a minion slot, and he'll walk around and harvest crops for you. And then, you know what? Split the skill in half between animals and plants. Make it so you can have a cow milking station, a butter churning station, have sheep, and then have, like, I don't know, collect a special kind of luxury wool. Have a collection for all these specialty items. Make it so they give you money. Make the composter freaking do something and give you money. I don't know. I just hate the garden so freaking much. And if I ever was staff on Hypixel, I would be glad to completely revamp it and make it into an actual video game instead of just let's give our players a reason to macro simulator. When would you consider yourself truly endgame? If I'm being realistic, Blaze 9, Cata 50, and Infernal Crimson, which by then would mean also like 1,000 Kudra runs probably. Everything else is like optional. I'd still consider myself endgame though. How excited are you for the new foraging islands? It'll be nice content, I guess. I liked Galatea, so hey, we'll see how it goes. What's your opinion on them ending Stranded? It's a shame, but I get it. I mean, I'm the person that came up with the concept initially. Like, I sat in a call with Jay Varman and like listed out everything the mode should represent in Google Docs. It was a lot of fun at first. I loved Stranded. But the problem is they just never updated it. They never gave it progression past about 20 episodes worth. I had a lot of fun with Stranded. It was some of my favorite times playing SkyBlock in general, but like it just didn't last.
So we're gonna
keep that witch there, by the way.
No.
What did you do?
I let him free by accident.
He's dead. You've killed him. You've killed the villager. Oh! He's gonna fall. He went right back. He went right back.
Wait, why was he able to do that?
Do it again because of these blocks. Just do it again. Okay. He's here. Okay. He's just so fast. He's so fast.
No.
Stop. Stop him.
What?
If they dedicated more dev time to it, I'm sure it would have been successful, but they just didn't. Again, I get it because they need to update the base game, but they just never gave it a chance. Honestly, I feel like that could be its own SkyBlock server, like a separate mode or something, which is what they said in their blog post about ending it, or forum post. Will you start another Iron Man journey after you end this profile or move to something else? No. As a matter of fact, I'm not starting any new profiles anymore. Iron Man's the last permanent profile I'm making for SkyBlock. Any further content's gonna be either in solo, Iron Man, or Lemon, or maybe Stranded if by some miracle it comes back. That doesn't mean I'm stopping playing SkyBlock. I'm just not making any new profiles. It's just too much. What's your least favorite skill to max out? Dungeons, catacombs. Class average 50 is a freaking joke. Why don't you use Sky? I have a very wide audience, and I don't want them to get scared away by textures that look too not vanilla. As a player, it doesn't make much of a difference to me. Texture packs. You're not doing a 1.0 profile anymore. Took too long. The opportunity is expired. Sorry, Hypixel. It's not gonna happen. There's a reason I get so excited when a grind is over, because I know I'm never doing it again. And the one with dungeons is gonna be like euphoric, bro. I don't even know how I'm gonna contain myself, just being like, bro, I never have to walk into the catacombs again. Oh my god. 113,000. So that's 5 inventories full of packed ice. I think we can use this. I'd call this maybe 25%, because like we still have to build all the outside islands. If anything Minecraft or Hypixel related suddenly didn't exist, what game would you primarily play on your channel? If Minecraft ceased to exist and Hytale ceased to exist, well, it already did, but if it remained not existent, I don't think I would play games on my channel as much. I might like do a series, a short series, or maybe play a one-off, but most of my content would probably be making stuff or coding. In a sense, that is kind of what I want things to turn into eventually, is just not rely on any external anything and just make cool stuff and have people be interested in that cool stuff that I make. When do you want to interview Simon? Simon Hypixel, the myth, the legend himself. I don't know. He stated he doesn't really like interviews. I mean, I'd love to if given the chance, but like, I feel like there's a lot of my other creator friends that want to interview him too. If the opportunity came up, I would, but I'm not going to bug him about it. I understand why he wouldn't want to do interviews. A lot of people don't like being in the spotlight like that. I'd ask a lot of questions about Hytale, and every single answer is going to be, I can't talk about that. But again, I feel like there's people more qualified to interview him. Recently, there's been some discussion about how grinding in SkyBlock has to be radically shortened so that more people can get to late game faster, and so that the game attracts new people who aren't scared away because of the long grind times. Do you think this is the right way to get people interested in SkyBlock, or is there another way? This is a multifaceted issue. Playtimes are a part of it, yes, but at the same time, in my opinion, when you start counting the number of hours you have in a video game, that means you're not having enough fun. Ideally, you want to just play and not think about how many hours you put in, because you're having that much fun. And maybe you'll get reminded every now and then if it's a Steam game and it just shows you every time you boot it. But like, I think, yes, the grind in SkyBlock is too long, but the game's also boring. Granted, you don't really experience that until like 1,000 hours in of optimized gameplay, but especially after that, the game is not that fun anymore, I'm gonna be honest. And then you start counting hours. I think, yes, there are grinds that need to be reduced, especially Garden, but alongside it, whatever new content we get needs to be interesting and have variety to it. I think Galatea was one of the best additions to this game, period. It did everything perfect except for the hummingbird shard being made late, but I'll give them a pass on that because anyone that starts Galatea doesn't have to deal with that problem. But that's the way they need to do updates in the future. It's like maybe 100 to 200 hours. There's like maybe a dozen or so grinds to do, maybe more. Ideally, you want to be doing something new every like 10 hours. I'd say even every 5 hours. I don't know. What they need to do now, yeah, some of the old content definitely needs a bit of a nerf in the amount of time it takes to finish. Mythological is probably going to be one of the next ones, tinfoil hat theory. I think when they do the revamp, they're going to make Chimera a lot more common. I'm not sure how much more common, but they're probably going to make it more common. And I say that's a good thing, especially after Fearless told me you need a Chimera 5 Ragnarok axe just to be allowed to participate in Infernal Kudra, which I think is insanity, by the way, but whatever, I guess. Guardian Slayer, yeah, that's going to be interesting. I think the game needs to be overall made more fun. That's the priority. I think class average 50 and kata 50 should happen around the same time. The problem with Chimera is a different thing. True. Chimera just kind of is problematic. It's too good at everything and it's too rare because you need to not only get Chimera 5, but you have to get it like multiple times. This would be crazy. Imagine it goes from an ult enchant to just being like a thing you could put on an item and then take off and put on another item. I don't even know if I would like that. I think I would like that. That'd be kind of crazy. Or just a pet item. Well, I would want it to be something that you have the freedom to change what it's put on. But this is just off the cuff. I'm not saying this as an official suggestion. I'm not sure 100% how I feel about that. Chimera 5 Rygax would save a few seconds per run at most. I mean, Fearless does tend to have that habit where he'll just say something's required or like it's easy when it's like hundreds, if not thousands of hours. Like... I'm like, bro, nah, nah, I don't play MMOs like that, man. You gotta be realistic. Well, I guess I do. unfortunately. I don't do it willingly. What was your favorite moment from your journey playing Skyblock? There's two candidates. I think the funniest moment was in Stranded when that villager committed die. That was one of the funniest things that ever happened to me in a video game. Like, I was actually out of breath laughing hysterically for like what felt like 10 minutes. That was really funny. Favorite? I think Jay Varman handing me a spiked atrocity just after teaming up with Technoblade to kill Dante, being a minister rank on the server and making a Bed Wars video with minister rank. That whole experience of the Dante thing, having the live stream where I was trying to get votes for the election and then someone put something bad in the chat and I had to turn off my tweet deck or whatever it was called. That whole experience, the Dante thing, is probably my favorite Skyblock experience overall. That like week. I think that's safe to say, right? Give me some of your RNG, please. Hey, RNG radius is a thing. This is a documented phenomenon. Many people in chat report watching one of my streams. They will just drop something stupid rare. If you want some of that radius, you might want to consider subscribing. Did I leave that question in there just for that plug? Yes, I did. Look at that. We made our first Diamond Island. Or most of it. Could you ever see yourself playing an actual MMORPG when Skyblock dies? No. First and last. Are you planning to apply for a position on the Hypixel dev team in the future? I've thrown the idea out there a lot. There's a few questions that I'm waiting on answers to in the next few months. Depending on the outcome of said questions, I will, potentially. But until then, I'm scared to proceed. There's no doubt in my mind, if I were to be a Hypixel Skyblock developer, I would do so much to fix this game. It would be forever changed for the better. I really do believe that. Don't know if I'll ever get the chance. It's not that I won't be able to, it's that there'll be better opportunities waiting for me elsewhere, potentially. And that's even assuming they want me at all. Is making an Iron Man profile your best or worst decision? Neither. It was a necessary thing to do. Had I tried to just make solo work for 3 years, I don't think so. I would have uploaded so few videos that, like, I mean, I'd like to think I'd still be around, still uploading, but not nearly the influence I've had, not nearly the respect that I have in the community, which is still not a lot, but, you know, I think I deserve more credibility now, considering I've done the grind. I know what I'm doing. I don't think it was a bad choice. It's led to a lot of anguish, but, you know, I had some other benefits too, not just, you know, it's not only anguish. So you don't regret making the profile? No. I think I had to. This was definitely necessary. I've gotten so much content out of Iron Man, especially in the early days. Oh my God. There was a point when we were 4 months ahead in content. I had 4 months of uploads. I wish I had that luxury nowadays. Do you plan on returning to any guide kind of content? So the thing about guides are dependent on a active and thriving community. The reason most creators stopped making guides, me included, is that they just don't get views anymore, which means that people aren't searching things up anymore or are not interested in playing the game anymore. I've acquired an audience of ex-players or casual players that don't even care about that kind of thing, right? So if the game has a resurgence and there's a bunch of new players asking what to do, then yes. But in the meantime, it just doesn't make sense to make tutorials anymore. I want to. I have a lot of content ideas for tutorials. I can't be uploading videos that get 20k views or less at this point, you know? I don't want to risk that. The tutorials used to be evergreen content, and to an extent, they still kind of are, some of them. Making new stuff, it just doesn't seem like a good idea right now. Do you think Skyblock will ever peak again? This is some tough love, Hypixel, but I don't think so. I don't think we're ever seeing COVID levels again. Not with Skyblock. The game just has a reputation now. Even if they fix every single problem, they're not going to earn back the people that quit because it took too long. Like, I think there's been permanent irreparable damage to the community because of how long the grinds have been the past 3 years. I just don't see it recovering from that. It might hit some stable and impressive player count, but it's not going to peak. What happened to the fake Simon situation and the others that were involved in it? Most people in this chat don't even know what that is. They don't even know about this situation. Let's go back to 2017, the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. There was this funny situation I found myself in where I was invited to the Hypixel private Discord. The Discord server that was for Hypixel staff and some friends of staff to talk business and test out games and whatever. I met Simon. Turns out it wasn't Simon. It was a guy catfishing as Simon, the owner of Hypixel, and on a regular basis would convince not just me, but the whole Discord of hundreds of people that he's the guy. And I joined the Discord because I was offered, I kid you not, this is gonna sound insane, again, it's like 2017, 2018, I was offered to make a SkyBlock mode. I am not kidding. They did not have SkyBlock at the time. I was like, you know, Hypixel could have its mini games and like the little party game stuff, and then a permanent mode, a SkyBlock would do so well. And I was going to be the guy to make it. Turns out, again, this was not real Hypixel. This was not real Simon. It was a fake. I found out he was a fake, and then ended up emailing Cryptkeeper, one of the staff, and then was like, hey, there's this guy role-playing as Simon, fooling over 1,000 people at that point. And then I got the Discord shut down. Crazy situation. I guess my idea was right. I was like, hey, if SkyBlock was a thing on Hypixel, it'd probably do really well. And sure enough, it was the most successful thing they've ever done. And it was a 7-episode long like series of just like being manipulated by this guy and having fun at times, like playing what I thought was debug versions of Bed Wars games, but it turned out to be public plugins that were just hidden really well, and like using like plugins to change his appearance in game to look like another player. Like, it was a whole thing. And then at the end of the story, I got real Simon to actually play a game of Bed Wars with a fan that requested to play with Simon, and then ended up playing a game with the fake Simon instead. And once I found out about that, I felt awful, and then got real Simon to play with the guy. And that was how I met Simon, not in person, but that's how I started interacting with Simon, was because I got shut down the fake one. That's cool. All right, look at this. We have mid. It exists. Look at this. Next up, let's finish the Diamond Islands, and then all that's left is private islands. Well, all that's left. This is a lot of freaking building. When you grind SkyBlock, do you ever feel a deep existential crisis where you think, what am I doing with my life? Is this really what I want to do for a living? Why am I spending time on this game so much when I could be mastering something else that I would possibly enjoy and be more productive in? Every day. Well, no, it's a necessary evil, finishing my SkyBlock grind. Technically, it was the most productive thing I could do with my time for a long time, but rapidly, that's not becoming the case. I have a lot of opportunities coming up just in time for me to finish my stupid vendetta with the forums and actually be endgame. So I consider that an absolute win. I just need to grind a little bit more. Aren't you really close to endgame? Some people would say I am, but I wouldn't say that. My standards are much higher now. If you were a developer in SkyBlock, what changes would you immediately start working towards? Well, I already talked about the garden and what I would change with that. So I'd address my huge list of balance changes to make Iron Man better, like NPC sell prices being slightly below what Bazaar would offer, so that normal profiles don't inflate the economy to crap, but Iron Man profiles can finally make money from doing stuff. Add stonking as a feature, but they already did that. That was one of the things on my list. I want to make that Pirates Archipelago island. You missed a Duralius question? Oh, where? Here's a fun question. What would your ideal SkyBlock have in 5 years? So the entire history of the game a second time. 5 years is a long time. Well, I've already said the make farming into heyday / an idle game thing. I think it would be sick if the private island got some kind of grind. Hear me out, chat. Hear me out. Clash of Clans mechanics for the private island. Not with stuff in your chests getting stolen, but like you got villagers that are doing stuff for your island, making like some resources that don't even exist yet. You can get raided by other players, or you can raid other players, and it's like a whole PvP thing, kind of instance like dungeons, but it's like you're raiding their base. Like you pull up with a flying ship or something. That'd be kind of cool. I think minion automation mechanics would be cool. Let's get some mob farms going. Let's get some conveyor belts. Have the ability to make some like industrial craft level just doohickeys devices that just do things, almost like I saw your stream, Duralius, when you were talking to the #1 stranded player, all the doohickeys on the island that just do random things. I love that. That's the whole reason I wanted Stranded to exist, was people just inventing little ways to progress on their island. Like Satisfactory, yeah. I think another thing would be a small change. If you're underwater, you should not be able to get loot until you surface again. Treat it like a roguelite. You get to keep whatever you survive with, and there's no exploit to get air underwater, so you have to choose when it's time to surface. Everything on you, you keep, but all the new stuff is at stake if you drown. I think that would be cool. So then that mechanic could be expanded to have a much larger island that's underwater, kind of more like a Subnautica-like experience, you know? Go down a few hundred blocks and have caverns and like little air bubble bases that you can rest at, and like, I think that would be sick. The Moon Island? The Moon Island. Bring that back. Yeah, moon cheese, mobs with glass on their heads. I just want the islands to update to newest version so we can use the new mobs. Oh, true, yeah. There's also that concept of like custom models, which you could do with some tech. I remember one of the devs showed me a while ago, and it was freaking cool. Like, there are bosses that straight up are just custom mobs, and they have custom behaviors and animations that are just not a part of the base game, but you could add it with plugins, and I don't know what magic makes that work, but it's freaking cool. And I think SkyBlock having some of that would be cool. You know, an Aether-like experience? What if we had an instance SkyBlock region that's just massive? It's an open area like the Aether that you explore, acquire resources, whatever, and then you leave and it disappears, and it's randomly generated every time. And it's just like a far lands and outer lands that you can go to. And again, it'd be like a roguelite experience where like you only keep what you can manage to bring back with you without dying. That's a big problem with SkyBlock, is like just difficulty in general and mechanics being made trivial because of the fact that you can teleport so fast and like just hop lobbies, and I don't know. I'd rather the game have less hours and be more difficult, but not in a bad way, like strategic difficult. Some tasteful difficulty. Like Crystal Hollows? No, that's in a cave. It's not open. It kind of is, but not really. And there's no stakes. It doesn't matter if you die in the Crystal Hollows. That all sounds so cool, but it'll turn SkyBlock into something it's not. I don't like that mindset. That's the reason why Minecraft hasn't gotten any interesting content in a freaking decade. No, disagree. What's the most painful grind you've had to do that could have been simply skipped by paying a few mil if you weren't Iron Man? Oh my god. You want a recent example? Hummingbird attribute shards. Bro, that pissed me off. That made me so mad, dude. I had maxed out Galatea pretty much. And I was like, hell yeah, finally, time to move on to the other grinds and get those videos done and call this profile finished. And then they're like, oh yeah, you need to drop 48 times an item that you only get from foraging fig and mangrove, the grind you just finished for 50 hours. And I did it. Worm membranes? That was a 20-hour grind, but I did it in one sitting because I'm a mad lad. You don't have max whispers yet? I mean, I'm pretty close. I have 36 million whispers right now. I'd say that's pretty close to max. It's enough for max sweep and fortune, I can tell you that. Rex is like, wait, what? My bad, bro. Yeah. Have any of your roommates played SkyBlock? One of them did for a little bit, but wasn't really into it. Understandable, honestly. It's funny how I'm like in a state that people would call burnt out, yet I just casually show off that much progress and new content. Like, it doesn't end, bro. I still, the grind never ends. Maxed bit bugs. Yep. I did that. What are some other items that were annoying because of Iron Man? Oh my god, Inferno Vertexes, bro. Do you know, I would just pay for all of them. Easy. I could have just grinded out money for like 2 days and bought all the vertexes I would have ever needed. The Apex, the one that I finally dropped a freaking Apex. It took so long to happen when I could have just bought it. Radioactive Vial. I would have bought an alloy by now. I would have bought a pendant of Devon, like a shattered locket I would have bought by now. Did you get a Reaper Pepper? I did. If someone paid you 100 grand to restart Iron Man, would you? That depends. Define restart Iron Man. If it means I can say that I'm maxed Iron Man, get that video done, and then just reset the profile and never touch it again. For 100k, I'd do that. I would hate myself a little bit because there's a lot of history on this island, especially all the stats and everything, but hey, 100,000? If I'm obligated to get to where I am now a second time, no. How would you sum up your impact and contributions to Hypixel? If there's anything you would change about it, if you could. If I could go back, that one time I lost my YouTube rank for the X-Ray Challenge in Bed Wars with Gamerboy, that was a stupid situation. I don't agree with their decision back then, but I shouldn't have called for them to email the admins about it. That was dumb. I'm glad they didn't blacklist me from YouTube rank after that. When I did that, it would have been within their right. How would I sum up my impact and contributions? I did say this earlier, that I am objectively the creator in SkyBlock to have gotten the most views over the duration of the game's lifespan. I'd say I have a very large impact on SkyBlock. It's so hard to say things like this without just being called an egomaniac, but the numbers talk, right? So like, I can acknowledge that. I don't know. I'd like to think that overall I've been a positive impact. I mean, people are still here watching me now, which says something. Definitely not peak anymore though, but neither is the game. Doesn't Techno have more? I did the math. I don't want to make that a competition, okay? Because it's Techno. He's a freaking legend and always has been. This is like, he's at a different echelon compared to me, okay? But in terms of SkyBlock, I mean, technically by the numbers, like I just have uploaded too many videos. That doesn't mean I'm a better content creator. It just means I've made more videos. That's all that means. But it is cool every now and then hearing things like a lot of content creators were inspired by what I did. Like I've had people like tell me like, yeah, I started making videos because of you. Like multiple names you'll recognize. And that was really cool. That was probably one of my favorite things to have come out of all this. I don't know. What else would I change about my impact on the game? I probably would have started uploading YouTube shorts and short form content sooner. I think that was a mistake, not uploading it until last month. I could have gone in on that like 2 years ago. So that was kind of a mistake on my part. But like other than that, I don't know, dude. How much longer do you think Hypixel SkyBlock will last until it truly dies out? I don't have a good answer for that because honestly, it depends on what Hypixel does. It could die as soon as next year if they do 0. But if they, well, it wouldn't even die. Even if they did nothing, the game would probably, it depends on what your definition of dead is. I'd say SkyBlock would be dead if it goes below 1,000 concurrent viewers or players. I think it would take like genuinely like 2 years of nothing for it to get to that point. But there isn't going to be nothing. There's going to be updates. As long as this game mode makes Hypixel money, and oh boy does it. There's going to be new content. This game might last another 5 years, and it might even last longer than that. But will Minecraft die out? That's the question. Would Minecraft last? Probably. I think SkyBlock has the potential to be a decade-long experience. I mean, we're at 6 years, right? So 4 more years and it would have existed for a decade. I think that's possible. As a matter of fact, I think it's likely that it would have lasted a total of a decade. Beyond that, I really don't know. At that point, it just depends if the updates come out at all and are they good. And if they react appropriately to recent criticisms, then in theory, the game would get a lot better, which might make it be even more alive than it is now. So I'd like to keep high hopes and say, hey, it's probably gonna do really well in the future, but I just don't know. Probably. Well, thank you for listening in to my insane 80 screenshots, so more likely 100 questions plus whatever chat asked me over the course of the stream. That was a lot. That was a long stream. I finished the island build from last stream. There it is. We officially now have Glacier as the ThirtyVirus private island. I'm gonna open it temporarily for stream so that you guys can see it. So let's start off with the home base. I mean, obviously you saw me on stream using Lightmatica to build the actual islands for the most part, but I actually finished everything like the diamond generators, the emerald generators. I even put blocks to simulate a little game. But let's start with the home base. Red team is ThirtyVirus. This is me. If I had to pick my team every game, it would be red, but I can't do that. So anyway, we have Jerry and we have Sam, the 2 shopkeepers. I've got my experimentation table over here. We have our other little cosmetic items. We have a hyper furnace, an anvil, the 1 billionth gold ingot. I moved it over there. The classic ThirtyVirus bed defense. And I mapped out a whole game here. So my strat's always to go to the team next to me. It just so happens they're a noob, so I cut them off and they jumped and fell. I broke their bed. There's an AFK pool in blue team base. Went to get diamonds and then went straight for mid to get emeralds. But I was interrupted. Every base here represents an archetype in Bed Wars. Gray team's that annoying one that side maps instead of doing the normal thing and going for a base. So they tried to kill me, failed of course, because I'm ThirtyVirus, and they had their bed broken by pink team. So rip gray team. And of course, pink team is the obby rusher. They just went straight for mid, got the obby, caution to the wind, and because of that, they got their bed broken because they did not put in the time to get upgrades and made themselves a target. For white team, which is the sweat, they put the 1 block thick wall defense. They do this pattern here to try and get, they speed bridge over, was confronted, won the fight, TNT'd the bed, destroyed Aqua Base, and they were the #1 contender. Obviously, this game hasn't finished yet. They still have a bed. I still have a bed. Yellow Base is kind of your average, like, mid-game. Not quite a noob, but they're not really the best either. Like, they should have went for green, but they didn't. And then, of course, you have the turtle. Every Bed Wars game has to have a turtle. They blocked themselves in. They got water on top of wood. So there you go. That is the island build. Now, there's stuff inside the bases. I already showed you some of Red Base, but there's a storage area. Look at this. How cool is this freaking storage, chat? This is sick. It took forever to build this and move all the items, by the way. Nearly 5 hours. Minion stuff over here. We got our upgrades. We got more upgrades. Down at the bottom here is extra minions. You're crazy? Correct. Here's all of our T12, T11 minions in order, of course. Random Slayer drops. This one's Spider. This one's Wolf, but with Overflow Spider because I have too many freaking talismans. Blaze Slayer's a little overwhelmed. I dropped way... Oh, jump scare, by the way. Yeah, I've been busy with Blaze Slayer. That video is coming out soon. That is a lot of RNG right there. And then, of course, you have some random mining drops and whatever. Dump chests, which are absolutely full of random Slayer items. It's time to move on to a new game at this point. What's up, Mike Calazar? No, you're right, honestly, dude. But yeah, I just reorganized everything. Now, I'm not done yet. There's other stuff at other islands. If I were to go to Gray Base... Oh, also, we have a little extra storage in here specifically for Nucleus Run stuff. So there it is. We have our Inferno minion set up. I finally went out of my way to make an enclosure for these annoying things, and now they can't shoot at me anymore, which is amazing. And then if we go to Blue Base, we have the rest of the minions. Past the AFK pool down here, and this is where we have a bunch of Magma Cube minions, and we also have a fishing minion. And there you go. That's the island tour. It's finally finished after all this time. After how long has this profile existed? 3 years and 1 month it took to finally get a base. And of course, up here is where everybody spawns when they visit. I kind of modified the way that Hypixel does it so it's more open, and so you can actually see at the bottom. And these jump pads will actually, oh, if you don't fall, the jump pads will take you to various bases. That is the base. What do you think? A rating out of 10. Where we at? I'm gonna call this one a solid 9.5. I do think Rooftop's better just because more blocks, but this is about as good as the concept of Glacier can get. And you can fit a surprising amount of stuff inside of these islands. Like, you wouldn't even think there's a whole base in there, but there is. You're right, Rooftop's better. It is. 9.3. I'll take a 9.3. That's 93%. Hell yeah. A solid A. But you gotta give a bit of love to Glacier. It's one of the OGs. It's one of the first maps the game ever got. All right, say your final goodbyes to the old island, chat. You served us well, old island, but now you're just in the way. I already put through the effort to delete underneath, so it's faster. Goodbye. No more annoying portal sounds while I'm AFKing. I already moved the sign. Use Picobulus. I don't have Picobulus. I have Maniac Miner, and I'm not switching my Heart of the Mountain Tree for that. Although it does work in Private Island. People are throwing dice. I didn't even know you could do that on a private island. Ooh, RNG Radius right there. Phantoms Gamer. 60 months of YouTube member. That's 5 years for those that are counting. That's actually insane. And again, the corner block and all the signs I said I would keep on the island have been moved. They are not removed. They are on the map still somewhere else within the official build. The redstone's been here for so long. Yeah, like this is where minions used to go years ago at this point. Oh, is that gonna go away? I hope it will. There's just a random tag there. Random wood blocks on the floor. Do you still have the duped dirt? Oh yeah, that was from Hasco. I have it on my solo profile. Oh yeah, I did get rid of that ugly building where people used to spawn in to get on the island. I like how SkyBlock still knows the blocks that I placed and the ones that were here. Like, I got XP for those few pieces of stone right there. It survived the whole 3 years this profile's existed. It's gonna be sad to watch that cobble generator go, but there is no reason for me to use it anymore. Otherwise, I would have put it underneath another base. I used to hate on modern versions, but it's really nice. Same, but also Can't wait. Nah, I didn't dislike modern versions, but I wasn't really all that thrilled either. But having used it for a while, it is quite good. Obviously, I do think there are some optimizations for performance, but like 1.8's had like a literal decade for mod makers to optimize it. So let's give the modern versions a chance, okay? Granted, I'm using a PC with a, was it a 4080? Bad example, I guess. My PC's a little overpowered. Yo, 30, I'm gonna make you feel a bit old. I've been watching you since the Skyblock series 11 years ago. And I'm 20 with a stable job. You made me laugh all the time. You know what? I need to look this up again. Does this screenshot, does this thumbnail mean anything to you? Almost 400k views on that. Wow. Me at the time would have been like to the moon if he knew that that video would hit 400k almost. Fastest cobble generator? Yep, I've been doing Skyblock a long time in various forms. You got Sky Factory, you got Sky Factory 3, Sky Factory 4. There was a Feed the Beast pack that was in the air, I believe. Project Ozone. I did Sky Factory 2, I believe. Yes, Sky Factory 3 with me, Anthony, and Mike was probably, that was peak. All right, there we go. That is it. There are no blocks left of the OG spawn, although there is that. I might need a few. All right, now we have one more thing to get rid of, and this is the last one. Goodbye. Anyways, let's get rid of the minion platform. Long time overdue. Now there's only the bedrock and the beacon. What's the command to set the spawn? Set spawn is for me. Set guest spawn. Look at that. Look how clean it is. Isn't there a method to remove bedrock / admin? Maybe I can get time to wait. Ah, yeah, look, people are still appearing on the bedrock. When you load in for the first time, it works. When you don't, it doesn't. The visiting spawn is on the spruce plank. The respawn is not. I want the sign placed. Ah, yes. The least I could do, Looter, is get you a sign for all of the help you have done in the catacombs up to this point. I claimed this base. Does that mean you identify with that playstyle, Looter? Where would you like sign? What would you like it to say? Property of Looter Co. There we go. How's that?